here on the top shelf are all the cornflowers. I've just gone through all the cells and just given them a top dressing of compost because some of the cells was a little bit low from the watering. And then these will go outside under the coal frames. Look at them, aren't they doing brilliantly? So put them under the coal frames, they can harden off, and then we can get them planted whenever we're ready. Obviously we need to keep an eye on the weather, but I have planted them as early as late February before. As I say, it does depend on what Mother Nature is going to do, not just for the plants, but also for your own comfort. You don't want to be planting when it's freezing cold or blowing a gale. Now, when choosing a spot for hardening off, you just got to bear in mind which areas of your garden are the most sheltered. So I know that this side of the garden, when it gets really cold and frosty, never thaws out during the day. So this is not a spot for hardening off. However, this side of the greenhouse, it's got the protection of the greenhouse, and this side of the greenhouse is a lot more sheltered. So that's the spot I'm going to use for hardening off. You can see here that parts of the garden haven't defrosted all day, which is why it's so important that your greenhouse is in the right location. Shut it up now, nice and early, so that we trap the last of the warm sunshine in the greenhouse to keep your plants nice and cosy. Here are my coal frames. You can see they are empty and ready for filling up. So all I've got is I've got some lids to protect them from the heaviest rain, but the sides are open, so they've got plenty of breeze to go through and start toughening those leaves up. Because there's no breeze in the greenhouse, their leaves will be very delicate, so you don't want to put them straight out in the garden. So we'll harden them off, and there is no hurry. You're also making space in the greenhouse for your next lot of sowing, so it's a good thing. Pop them out, harden them off, at least for about 2 or 3 weeks, probably a bit longer depending on the weather. If you don't have a spot like me in your garden, then you can just put your trays out around the house where they'll get protection from the walls. Neil's bringing the logs in for tonight. They'll get protection from the building. Just make sure that they're not in full shade because they do need to have some sunshine. But you can always start by bringing them out during the day for a few hours and then popping them back in again at night. The plants that I'm going to start hardening off are the Ami, this is the Visnaga, this is the Ami Majus, definitely the Sweet Rocket. The Orlea can go out, but I haven't potted that on yet, so I'm going to pot that on first. Let it settle down in the greenhouse. It'll grow quicker in the greenhouse. Let it settle down in its 15 cell trays and then harden it off. And then also this is the wild carrot. So I have already potted this on. So this is fine also to go out in that sheltered spot. I mentioned this before, but just in case you've missed it, Sweet Rocket, don't be surprised if you get red tinges to the foliage. It's completely natural and actually essential because they do need a period of very cold weather to flower properly. I think they've had that now. Now we just need, see, look, it does look just like salad. So we don't want to put that in the garden. We do need to just toughen them up. It won't take long, a few weeks, but there's absolutely no hurry to get them in the garden. Get them hardening off now. They can be getting on with it. You can get on with your life and we'll have space in the greenhouse for some new sowings as well. We've got a few more Ami plants which are smaller. They germinated a bit later. So I think I'm going to leave these ones in the greenhouse for another week or so, just because they'll grow faster in the greenhouse, and then I can put them out under the coal frames with their brothers and sisters. Agrostemma are actually a H5, so they're not quite as hardy as the cornflowers, the Sweet Rocket and the wild carrot, for example. So I'm going to leave them in here for a little bit longer. Larkspur I'm going to leave in here because I haven't potted them on yet because I was in hospital. I haven't had a chance to do that, so that's going to be done the next few days. Then I'll leave them in the greenhouse to settle into their new positions, and then once they're all settled in, then I will move them for hardening off. But they flower quite a bit later than Sweet Rocket and cornflowers, so that doesn't matter at all. The reason that we harden plants off, you're probably wondering, why can't I just put them straight out in the garden? It's because there's been no wind or breeze in the greenhouse. The leaves are really delicate. They haven't toughened up because they haven't needed to, because it's so protected in here. So if you put them straight out in the garden, all of the water with the wind, all of the water will just disappear from the plant. It'll get blown away. So by hardening off, what you do is you thicken up these leaves, thicken up the cuticle, and then they can hold on to water much better. They also will be able to withstand physical wind and rain and maybe snow, because the leaves will be stronger and not as delicate. If you put them straight in the garden now, they'll get blown, they'll probably get dehydrated, they'll probably get eaten because the foliage is just like salad for slugs and snails. And if we get a big dump of snow and rain, they'll probably get flattened. So that's the reason why we're hardening them off. We've got to get them to grow their own winter jackets. Look at that lovely breeze going through the leaves. Now, I just wanted to say, I'm going to pop these under in a second, just wanted to say that if you've got nowhere to harden your plants off at all, then you can just leave them outside during the day and bring them back in at night. So it will take longer. Cold frames are great because you can just pop them under and forget all about them. But do keep an eye on the watering, because the breeze is now moving through the leaves. That actually encourages the plant to lose water, so they may well dry out faster than they did when they were indoors. So I'll keep a close eye on these and work out how many times a week I need to do the watering. There we go, all settled in. I've got plenty more space under the cold frames for a few more bits, so I'll have a look around the greenhouse now. But apart from keeping an eye on the watering, I can really just leave them to get on with it. And I've also got a lot more room in the greenhouse now. Absolutely fantastic. If you would like it all written down, then don't forget your autumn jump starter handbook. That's the plants that we are hardening off at the moment, are the autumn jump starters. So all of your hardiness ratings for your plants are listed on a separate page, quick check page for you. And then you've also got all the steps for hardening off right here, all written down for you.